Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Tuesday, September 11th, 2018. Before I start, I'd like to remember and honor the 2,966 lives lost on this day 17 years ago. Never take anything for granted because you never know what may lie ahead and what's to come in life. On the podcast today, I'd like to go over last night's Monday Night Football doubleheader, look ahead to tonight's baseball games, as well as go over last night's, and I'll close the podcast by doing my NFL power rankings. All right, last night in the NFL, a memorable doubleheader for Jets fans and Sam Darnold and the Jets as they come away 48-17 winners over the Detroit Lions. Darnold 16 of 21, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Matt Stafford 27 for 46, 286 yards, a touchdown and 4 picks. First quarter, Sam Darnold's first pass attempt in the NFL was taken back by Quandre Diggs, a 37-yard interception return, 7-0 Lions. Jets answer back on a touchdown run, 6 yards by Isaiah Crowell, 7-7. Second quarter, Jason Myers field goal, 35 yards, 10-7 Jets. Robbie Anderson, 41 yards from Sam Darnold, 17-7. Matt Prater field goal, 21-yarder, 17-10 halftime. Third quarter, Lions tied up at 17 apiece on a 24-yard touchdown pass from Matthew Stafford to Golden Tate. Jets take over from here on in. 21-yard pass from Sam Darnold to Quincy Enunwa, 24-17 Jets. 36-yard interception returned by Darren Lee, 31-17. Andre Roberts, 78-yard punt return for touchdown, 38-17. Jason Myers, 32-yard field goal, 41-17. 62-yard touchdown run by Isaiah Crowell, 48-17 Jets. This was just a beatdown like no other, and a surprising one to say the least. The Rams defeated the Raiders 33-13. If any game was going to be a complete beatdown like that, it would be this. Rams pulled away in the second half. John Gruden's 0-1. Jared Goff, 18 of 33, 233 yards and 2 touchdowns. Derek Carr, 29 of 40, 303 yards, 3 interceptions. First quarter, 10-yard touchdown run by Marshawn Lynch on the Raiders' opening drive, 7-0 Raiders. Rams answer back on a 19-yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff to Todd Gurley, 7-7. Second quarter, Mike Nugent field goal, 10-7 Raiders. Greg Zuerlein field goal, 10-10. Mike Nugent 48-yard field goal, 13-10 Raiders right before halftime. Third quarter, Greg Zuerlein 28-yard field goal to tie it up at 13 apiece. Rams take a 20-13 lead on an 8-yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff to Cooper Kupp, 20-13. Fourth quarter, back-to-back Greg Zuerlein field goals, 23-13, 26-13. Then a Marcus Peters 50-yard interception return, 33-13 Rams was your final. Baseball. Last night, the Astros defeated the Tigers 3-2, and Justin Verlander's returned to Detroit. Houston's 90-54, Detroit's 59-85. Justin Verlander's 15-9, Francisco Liriano's 4-10. Roberto Osuna gets the 16th save of the year. The Reds defeated the Dodgers 10-6. The Reds are 62-83. The Dodgers are 78-66. Jared Hughes is 4-3. Alex Woods 8-7. The Rays defeated the Indians 6-5 on a walk-off 2-run shot by Jai Choi. The Rays are 79-64. Cleveland's 81-63. Jamie Schultz is 2-0. Brad Hand's 0-1. So Brad Hand had his first sort of misstep with the Indians. The Brewers defeated the Cubs 3-2. The Brewers are 83 and 62. The Cubs are 83 and 60. So 2 back in the loss column. Big win for Milwaukee. Wade Miley's 4 and 2. John Lester's 15 and 6. Jared Jeffries gets his 11th save of the year. The Yankees defeated the Twins 7 to 2. The Yanks are 90 and 54. Minnesota 65 and 78. Jay Happ is 16 and 6. Kyle Gibson 7 and 13. The Royals defeated the White Sox 4 to 3 on a walk-off error by Hendmar Gomez as Brian Goodwin scores the game-winning run. The Royals are 48 and 95. The White Sox are 56 and 88. Jake Newberry is 2-0. Gomez is 0-2. The Cardinals defeated the Pirates 8 to 7. Go-ahead 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th by Matt Adams to cap off the comeback for the Cardinals, who were 80 and 64. The Pirates are 71 and 72. John Brebbia is 2 and 3. Edgar Santana is also 2 and 3. Carlos Martinez gets his 3rd save of the season. The Rockies defeated the Diamondbacks 13 to 2. The Rocks are 79 and 64. The Diamondbacks are 76 and 68. Herman Marquez is 12 and 9. Zach Godley's 14 and 9. The Rangers defeated the Angels 5 to 2. The Rangers are 62 and 82. The Angels are 71 and 73. Mike Minor's 12 and 7. Jaime Barria is 10 and 9. Jose Leclerc is 10th save of the season. The Braves defeated the Giants 4 to 1. The Braves are 80 and 64. The Giants are 68 and 77. Sean Newcomb's 12 and 8. Derek Rodriguez 6 and 3. AJ Minter gets his 14th save on the season. Nationals Phillies was postponed. Makeup date is today at 3 o'clock. Marlins Mets postponed. Makeup date September 12th. Today's games, as I mentioned, 3 o'clock. Nationals Phillies, the makeup game. Eric Feed and Jake Arrieta. 6:40 Astros Tigers. Framber Valdez and Jordan Zimmerman. Dodgers Reds. Heijun Ryu and Luis Castillo. Athletics Orioles. Mike Fiers and Alex Cobb. Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Nats and the Phils. Tanner Roark and Nick Pivetta. Blue Jays Red Sox. Ryan Baroque, Chris Sale. Marlins Mets. Jose Urena and Jacob deGrom. Indians Rays. Shane Bieber and Tyler Glasnow. 8 o'clock Yankees Twins. Sonny Gray and Trevor Duffy. Brewers Cubs. Julius Chacin and Jose Quintana. 8:15 White Sox Royals. Dylan Covey and Brad Keller. Pirates Cardinals. Joe Musgrove and Miles Mikolas. 8:40 Diamondbacks Rockies. Zach Greinke and Antonio Senzatella. 10 o'clock Rangers Angels. Adrian Sampson and Joe Johnson. It looks like the Angels are going with an opener. Padres Mariners. Brian Mitchell and Marco Gonzalez. 10:15 Braves Giants. Mike Falta-Units and Andrew Suarez. Now I'm going to do my NFL power rankings. Going to go from 32 to 1. Going to say a little takeaway from every team from week 1. 32, Buffalo Bills, no doubt about it. This looks like the worst team in football. 31, the Detroit Lions. They flat out quit on Matt Patricia in game 1. 30, the Arizona Cardinals. Sam Bradford did not look good. Maybe it is time for Josh Rosen. 29 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe Jameis Winston's on the verge of losing a job. Great performance out of Ryan Fitzpatrick on Sunday against the Saints. 28 is the Dallas Cowboys. Looked hapless offensively. Their defense kept them in that game a little bit, but I don't think their defense is that good. 27 is the Oakland Raiders. That game was competitive through pretty much 3 quarters, then they flat out gave up in that game. And they'll regret trading Khalil Mack away, no matter what they got back. 26 is the Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck looked good in his first game back, but that defense still is terrible. 25 is the Cleveland Browns. Hey, gotta give them credit for coming back from 21-7 down and at least avoiding a loss. 24 is the Miami Dolphins. That lightning delay, or those few lightning delays, really messed that game up. And I think the Dolphins just got a little lucky with that. Had some good special teams, and certainly helped them. Then Marcus Mariota got injured in this game. So I don't want to overreact to the Dolphins. 23 is the New York Giants. That was a very winnable game for them. They didn't play poorly, per se. Saquon Barkley had a nice run. Odell Beckham had a great game. Their offensive line is still bad, courtesy of Eric Flowers. And their defense actually looked pretty good in the second half of that game. I was surprised by that. But my two takeaways from them is I don't think their offensive line as a whole is really that bad. I just think it's Eric Flowers. And on the flip side, I don't think their defense is as good as it showed because Jacksonville lost Leonard Fournette. So that's that. 22 is the San Francisco 49ers. There's nothing really broad to take away from that. I just don't think Jimmy Garoppolo has a good supporting cast. 21 is the Seattle Seahawks. Hung around with the Broncos. I don't think their defense is very good. Wilson will keep them in a lot of games. 20 is the Tennessee Titans, who can't really judge them. They lost Marcus Mariota. They lost Delaney Walker. This could be a disappointing season for them coming up. 19 is the New York Jets. I don't want to overreact to week one. Sam Darnold played well. The defense was excellent. Special teams were excellent. It was a good all-around performance by the Jets. But part of me wonders that the Lions might just be this bad. Like, do this against the Patriots, and then they'll take you seriously. 18 is the Los Angeles Chargers. They missed Joey Bosa in that game, and there's a rumor out there that he might miss the next couple weeks. 17 is the Denver Broncos. Case Keenum looked okay in his first game. Has to cut down on the interceptions, though. And that pass rush is going to be good. 16 is the Baltimore Ravens. This is like the Jets a little bit. Like, I don't want to overreact to one dominant performance because I just think the Bills are that bad. And again, do this against a contender. Do it against the Patriots, and then they'll take you seriously. Follow that up with a win at Cincinnati, if anything, because I think I'm going to get to the Bengals in a minute, but that'd be even more impressive if you did that to the Bengals rather than the Bills, obviously, regardless of where you played. 15 is the Washington Redskins. Good performance. Alex Smith played well. The defense was good. 14 is the Chicago Bears. This might be a little bit of an overreaction in terms of a loss. Khalil Mack was just awesome in this game. It's just overshadowed by the brilliance of Aaron Rodgers. I'll get to the Packers in a minute. 13 is the Atlanta Falcons, who still have trouble in the red zone offensively. I don't think Steve Sarkisian is a good offensive coordinator at all. 12 is the Carolina Panthers. A win is a win. I was not pleased at what I seen from the Panthers. They let a Cowboys team that's inferior to them hang around. We'll learn more about the Panthers as the weeks go on. 11 is the Cincinnati Bengals. Impressive come-from-behind win on the road against Andrew Luck and the Colts. I don't think the Colts are that good, but I do think that the Bengals, unlike the Ravens and the Jets' good performances, I am more sold on the Bengals than I am on those other two teams. The Bengals have more talent than those other two teams. Better quarterback, arguably, than the other two teams, even though Darnold's a rookie and Flacco has won a Super Bowl. But I just think Andy Dalton isn't as bad as people in the media make him out to be. And he has a lot of talent around him, more talent than Joe Flacco and Sam Darnold have around him as well. And I think the Bengals could be a playoff team this year, especially if Marcus Mariota's out for a while. The Jaguars did not impress me against the Giants. Maybe that's because of Leonard Fournette being out in the second half of that game that made the Giants' defense look decent. Number 10 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Nick Foles just isn't good. He had a good Super Bowl and a good NFC title game, but I think that says more about the talent around him than him himself. Once the Eagles get Carson Wentz back, they're poised to go on a run here in the regular season to try to get one of those top 2 seeds in the NFC. 9 is the Houston Texans. Don't want to overreact to losing to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, but Deshaun Watson looked a little rusty. But I think he'll be fine. Number 8's the New Orleans Saints. Boy, I probably should have had them lower than this. But that game, I think, was a bit of a fluke. There's a couple dumb turnovers in that game. I wanted to do a little moment of silence there for 10:28 when the North Tower fell. Just out of respect. I left off on the Saints who had number 8. I think that was a bit fluky, couple dumb turnovers and dumb plays. I don't think they're this bad. Their defense looked bad, but their offense has to protect the football. If it weren't for those couple dumb turnovers, maybe we're talking about the Saints barely surviving week 1. Although people are talking about their defense, and rightfully so. It wasn't good the other day. Shouldn't be giving up 48 points to a bad Bucs team. Granted, some of those points came off of turnovers. 7 is the Pittsburgh Steelers, probably too high. Got a tie at Cleveland, which felt like a loss for me for them. And it felt like a win for the Browns by getting the tie. But that was just a brutal performance by Ben Roethlisberger. James Conner played fairly well. He's not Le'Veon Bell, but he is not a bad replacement. 6 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. A good defensive performance against Eli Manning, Odell Beckham Jr., Saquon Barkley, and the New York Football Giants. 5 is the Green Bay Packers. Aaron freaking Rodgers, even with the bad knee, found a way to bring the Packers back to life and come from behind 20-0 down to win. This guy might be the MVP favorite after week 1 just from that performance alone. Number 4 is the Kansas City Chiefs. An impressive win at the Chargers. Tyreek Hill was running all over the place. Pat Mahomes was awesome in his second career start. I think Mahomes is poised for big things this season. 3 is the New England Patriots. Another day, another win for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. On to Jacksonville. Number 2 is the Minnesota Vikings. A nice win over Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers. Picked off Jimmy G a few times. And they have a tough one next week at Green Bay, especially if Rodgers is good to go. Number 1, no doubt about it, the Los Angeles Rams. best team in football this season, in my opinion. Pulled away in the second half against a bad Raiders team in John Gruden's second Raiders debut. Marcus Peters had a great game. So it was a good turnaround in the second half by the Rams. I think this team is poised for big things this season. I picked them to win the Super Bowl, as I mentioned in my NFL podcast predictions show. And that's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping all the baseball from today, looking at tomorrow's games. I'll do my college basketball announcer rankings. Maybe I'll sneak in my bowl projections for week 3 of the college season. And I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.